Peace, family. Peace, nation. And peace to the world. We are streaming live. It's not working correctly. Peace to everybody out there. Peace to the nation. Peace to the world. Today's mathematics. It's wisdom. All being born a culture of freedom. And we continue with our breakdown and explanation of mathematics and how we relate that to the things that we do, how we relate it to life, and to get a better perspective of what this mathematics is all about. Today, mathematics being wisdom, we said it all borns the culture of freedom. And from a simple arithmetic perspective, first understand that we are adding 2 plus 2, which is today's date, to give us 22. And that is very significant again, because our concept of mathematics says that we take the simple number, transform it into a word that have significance, that have meaning. This is the first transformation that takes place. We transform numbers, symbol, into words. Now, these are not just words for mere quotation purposes or for mere purpose of sounding good or speaking elegant or intellectual pontification or any of that. These are words that have meaning, words that have concepts, words that is a principle, words, something that you can live by. This is a word that is significant and synonymous with power within itself. Each of these mathematical words is applicable to the concept of power within itself. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, freedom, power or refinement, equality, God, build or destroy, born, and the cipher. The cipher is significant because it's a circle consisting of 360 degrees. Only means to represent something that's complete within itself. A person, a place, or a thing. All is synonymous with a cipher. The cipher, in particular in mathematics, specific as a placeholder. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, freedom, power, refinement, equality, God, build or destroy, and born. These are the words that I'm speaking about that we first transform from symbols into concepts, into principles, from the abstract into the concrete. When we look at mathematics, it applies symbols that are abstract, things that you really cannot visualize except in the form of the symbol. One, what is it? It's just a stroke. Now you can apply that to an object as a singular entity, but it's an abstract concept within itself. When we take that and transform it into knowledge, now we're able to talk about something that's a little bit more concrete. Even though it is directly related to a mental concept is real because this is something that we can think. We say thought is knowledge. We say information is knowledge. We say ideas is knowledge. We say visions, visualization, memory. All of these things are synonymous with knowledge. Facts. They're more concrete than a single stroke that has no meaning. So knowledge becomes significant and it has meaning. So do all of the mathematical concepts that we transform the numbers into. And the purpose of transforming the numbers into concepts and principles is so that we can make mathematics walk and talk in our life. Whereas we can use numbers and symbols and abstract ideas to create things, that's all well and good. And we can do good in the world with that. But we cannot really apply that to ourselves on the deeper level. But when we transform it into something that is significant, that has meaning, that is something that we can live by, something with substance, as the words that I mentioned, then this is something that we can apply to our life. And again, so today we apply in the concept of wisdom. And wisdom is that which we can take it up a notch into our alphabet to see how we become victorious, how we achieve victory. And the concept of victorious is relation to winning, is relation to success, is relation to achievement. Whatever it is that we do in life, and this is again, we're talking about wisdom. Whatever it is that we say out of our mouth, this again is wisdom. We are now trying to relate, how does that make us successful? How does that allow us to achieve something? How does that help us to win in whatever it is that we're trying to deal with within our life? And this is significance because it applies to the culture or freedom that we live in out. So wisdom, born culture, freedom. Does the culture that we live, which comes from the things that we do and say, does it allow us to be victorious? Does it allow us to win? Does it allow us to achieve the things that we set out to achieve? Wisdom, born culture, freedom. Again, remembering that mathematics is applied through simple arithmetic by adding the concept of the day. And the day is very significant, but we can go down to even further levels and deal with the time. But again, that's taking mathematics even further, because again, time within itself is an abstract concept, and it's even more deeper than the simple numbers. You know, but again, it all relates to time because a day within itself is time. But we take the entire day and we apply that to the concept of mathematics. Since each day has a number associated with it, we can associate the number of the day to the concepts of mathematics. It's that simple. This is why we could take 2, which is wisdom, and apply it twice. Now, when I say apply it twice, I'm speaking about another mathematical concept which we don't take into consideration in many instances. The concept of doubling something. So we look at wisdom. It is doubled. We're looking at wisdom being applied twice. We see that in speaking and doing. In our life, we tend to apply things not just in one form, but sometimes in multiple forms. So wisdom can be applied in multiple forms. It can be applied through speaking. It can be applied through doing. This is a double concept. So we see that this concept of doubling is routine throughout mathematics. It happens naturally within the sequential process of mathematics. We first experienced it with knowledge. And doubling, in a sense, when you look at it, it's like leaping to the next level in an instance. Because when we look at mathematics being the foundation and being able to take it up from 1 to 9 and then add the cipher on, the cipher takes us to knowledge cipher. When we take the placeholder 0 and apply it to the 1, we get knowledge cipher. But to get to the next level, to start to live out mathematics again, we begin at knowledge. This is the first doubling that we see taking place within our mathematics. And again, this concept of doubling is something that is routine within our life. It is something that we must also begin to understand because it is an impacting principle. If we look at it within our alphabet, there's two things that we begin to see. K in our alphabet is king. The concept of doubling doesn't just take man, an individual, and leave him in the world as a single entity. But when he takes himself up through the mathematics in the concept of doubling his knowledge, he sees himself as a king in life. He's able to apply himself as a king in life. And we know a king is one who governs over a people, a multitude, one that administers law to a people in multitude, one that rules a nation, a monarch, one that is the foundation of a family, of a lineage, of a dynasty. All of these things are associated with a king. So king is man taken up to a broad extent. The kingdom of man itself, the human kingdom, the animal kingdoms, all of these ideologies associated with kingdom is in the multitude. It's when it's added up to a greater extent. It's not the individual anymore, but it's the multitude. And it's the governance. When we talk about king, we're talking about the governance of the multitude. And it's usually through the concept of one mind. The king is supposed to be the association of the one mind. The people functioning under one mind. That one mind is supposed to be represented by the king. The person that they look to for guidance. The person that can steer the nation, guide the people, is usually looked to as the king. And then when we look at it again, the doubling, or the concept of doubling, as wisdom. In our alphabet, we see victory or victorious. And again, there is a significance here because now it's talking about the act or the action of the person. Is it an act that is successful, that is warranted, that is victory, that is valor, that is attributed to a winner? So now, in his doing or acting, the concept of the king is being doubled, or man is being looked at in a broader perspective, from the worldly perspective. He's not only looking at himself, but the world is looking at him, or looking at his history, his legacy, to see, was he victorious? Did he achieve what he set out to achieve? Was he successful? And these are very significant because when we take it back down to mathematics to understand how wisdom born culture, freedom, culture is the way of life, is the things that you do. We say our culture is I, God, and this is very significant. As I move on, we'll get to that, to how our culture becomes I, God. Because the culture is the way of life, and the things that we do in life becomes our culture. How we eat, how we speak, how we, deal with people, how we treat each other, how we treat ourselves, how we treat the world, how we treat the children, how we treat the women. All of these things are related to our culture, our way of life. What does the world see us doing in life? All of these things is related to the culture. And the significance of how does these things make this culture I God would lead to the concept within the alphabet, which is divine, which is the D within our alphabet. Divine is the concept that links man to God, because through his way of life, through his culture and the things that he do, it implies a divinity. If man's culture is implying a divinity, then it is a culture that is godly. But we know man culture does not necessarily apply divinity. In essence, man, most cases, usually are wicked. Lie, cheating, stealing, trickery, all of these forms and acts that he used that may achieve success, that may win at times, but in the end result, when you look at it, you will see from another significant aspect of his life that he's measured by, that is related to victory or victorious, is his character, which is also related to his culture and also associated with him being God or godly. His character. Is this person character a winning character? That will link him back to see, is his culture I God? Is what he say associated to divinity, to a divine character? Even if he wins in certain battle, in the end, when he is judged or tested, many cases, history have revealed that so many people that have, we would consider winner in their actions and things that they have achieved, but in the end results, when their character is judged, we come to find out that in truth, they are a loser, because it doesn't measure up to what is considered godly. And this is very significant, because godly character is judged on a wider and a broader perspective. It's associated with the concept of civilization itself. Is what this person have done and did in this life, did it attribute or contribute to the advancement of civilization itself? Did it add anything to life itself? Because civilization is life, associated with knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, and refinement. Did it add to that, or did it take away from that? And these concepts are real concepts that we are speaking about, and they relate directly to the mathematics that we're talking about. So today we're talking about wisdom, all being born to culture of freedom. And the question is, when we look at wisdom being born to culture of freedom, does the culture that the person live, the things that he do and the things that he say, does it make him victorious? And in his victory and achievements, successes, was it divine? Was it godly? Or was it wickedness, devilishment, lying, cheating, stealing, and tricks? These are the things that we need to look at when we deal with wisdom, all being born to culture of freedom, and when we apply mathematics to our daily life, so that we can see ourselves in this world. And I say peace to you, family, peace to you, nation, peace to you, the world. Peace.